Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to introduce you to our topic, Iswaran the Storyteller. This is the cover slide, so I'll keep it brief. Today, we'll explore the fascinating story of Iswaran, delve into his character, and discuss the themes and lessons within the tale. So let's get started and enjoy the journey ahead. Let's take a look at what's on this slide. We have a few key points to discuss, starting with R.K. Laxman. He's a renowned figure, and understanding his contributions will set the stage for our exploration of vocabulary and illustration techniques. Next, we move to vocabulary illustrations, which are essential tools for making language engaging and memorable. Then, there's emulation, a concept that encourages us to imitate and learn from others' styles to improve our own. Following that, we have new words, highlighting the importance of expanding our vocabulary continuously. Lastly, discussion points serve as the foundation for interactive learning and deeper understanding. As we go through this, keep in mind how all these elements connect to enhance our communication skills and overall language proficiency. Today, I want to talk about R.K. Laxman, a name that's synonymous with wit and sharp social commentary. He was a master storyteller through his cartoons and illustrations, capturing the essence of Indian society with humor and insight. His work often reflected everyday life, making complex issues relatable and accessible to everyone. Laxman's ability to highlight societal flaws while maintaining a light-hearted tone is what makes his work so timeless and impactful. Connecting this to our broader theme, his art reminds us of the power of satire and humor in fostering awareness and change. It's a perfect example of how visual storytelling can leave a lasting impression and spark important conversations. Let's take a moment to talk about R.K. Laxman. He was a legendary figure in Indian art and journalism. Known for his remarkable ability to capture the essence of everyday life with humor and sharp wit, Laxman's work often reflected social and political realities in a way that was both engaging and thought-provoking. His cartoons and illustrations didn't just entertain. They sparked conversations and offered social commentary that resonated with people across the country. Understanding his contribution helps us appreciate the power of visual storytelling in shaping public opinion and reflecting societal values. His work truly exemplifies how art and satire can be powerful tools for communication and change. All right, let's take a closer look at some new words that are essential for understanding this topic. These words might be new or have specific meanings in this context, so it's important to get familiar with them. By understanding these key terms, you'll be better equipped to grasp the main concepts we're discussing today. Remember, these words connect directly to the overall theme of the presentation, helping us build a clearer picture of the subject. So, as we go through each one, think about how they fit into the bigger picture and how they can enhance your understanding. Let's take a closer look at some key definitions that will help us better understand the themes of this presentation. First, we have ill-equipped. This means not having the necessary resources or qualities for a particular role or task. It's about being unprepared or lacking what you need to succeed. Next, uncomplainingly refers to accepting, doing, or dealing with something difficult or unpleasant without complaining. It highlights resilience and a positive attitude in tough situations. Moving on, a canvas tent is simply a tent made of canvas fabric, often used in camping or temporary setups. It's a basic but durable shelter. Then there's anecdot, which is a short, amusing, or interesting story about a real incident or person. It's a great way to illustrate a point with a bit of humor or insight. Lastly, quarry refers to a large, deep pit from which stone or other materials are extracted. It reminds us of the industrial side of resource gathering. Overall, these terms connect to the broader themes of resourcefulness, resilience, and the environment, which are central to our ongoing discussion. Let's take a closer look at some additional words that help deepen our understanding of mood and tone. First, we have desolate. This word describes a feeling or state of being very unhappy or lonely. It's often used to evoke a sense of emptiness or abandonment, which can be quite powerful in storytelling or descriptive writing. Next is miraculous. This term relates to something extraordinary, almost like a miracle. It suggests events or qualities that are beyond normal human abilities, almost magical in nature. Understanding this word helps us recognize moments in stories where something incredible happens, those turning points that seem almost impossible. Moving on, leisurely describes actions done at a relaxed, unhurried pace. When characters move or act leisurely, it creates a calm or reflective mood, allowing us to pause and absorb the scene. Then there's mutter. This word captures the idea of speaking softly or in a barely audible way, often out of dissatisfaction or irritation. It's a subtle way to convey mood without outright expressing anger or frustration. Finally, conjure. To conjure means to cause a spirit or ghost to appear through magic rituals. It's a word that connects to the mystical or supernatural, often used in stories where magic or illusion plays a role. Together, these words expand our vocabulary for describing feelings, actions, and magical phenomena, all of which can enhance the storytelling and emotional impact of our work. They remind us how language can paint vivid pictures and evoke powerful emotions in our audience. Let's take a closer look at some additional vocabulary that can really enrich our understanding. First, we have thrall, which means being a slave, servant, or captive. It's a powerful word that highlights a state of complete control or lack of freedom. Moving on, enormous describes something that is very large in size, quantity, or extent. Think of it as something that really stands out because of its size. Next, we have inclined, which refers to leaning or turning away from the vertical or horizontal, so it's about something that's sloped or tilted. This can help us visualize objects or even attitudes that aren't perfectly upright. Then there's arched, which describes something constructed with or in the shape of an arch or arches, like a bridge or a doorway. It's a shape that's both strong and elegant. We also have sprawled, which means spread out over a large area in an untidy or irregular way. Think of a person or a city that's sprawling without much order. Lastly, uncritically refers to doing something without much thought or consideration, often implying a lack of judgment or bias. Connecting all these words to our overall theme, they help us describe scenes, objects, or behaviors more vividly and precisely. Whether we're talking about physical descriptions or metaphorical states, these words give us tools to communicate more effectively and with nuance. Now, let's take a closer look at some specialized terms related to this topic. First up is mahout. A mahout is a person who works closely with elephants, riding them, tending to their needs, and often forming a strong bond with these majestic animals. These individuals play a crucial role in managing elephants, especially in regions where they're integral to daily life and culture. Next, we have tusker. This term refers to an elephant or sometimes a wild boar that has well-developed tusks. Tusks are significant because they often symbolize strength and maturity in these animals. In many cultures, tuskers are especially revered or considered powerful. Moving on to emulation. This is about striving to match or even surpass someone else's achievements, often through imitation. It's a drive for excellence, learning from others, and trying to excel beyond what has been done before. This concept is important because it reflects the human tendency to grow by observing and aiming higher. Then there's prologue. Think of it as a separate introductory section in a literary, dramatic, or musical work. It sets the stage, provides context, or hints at what's to come. In storytelling, a prologue helps prepare the audience for the main narrative. Finally, we have stamping. This refers to bringing down one's foot heavily on the ground or on something on the ground. It's a powerful, deliberate action that can convey anger, excitement, or simply be a way to make a loud statement. Connecting all these terms, you'll notice they each carry rich cultural or symbolic meanings, and understanding them helps us better grasp the overall theme of this presentation, whether it's about animal relationships, cultural practices, or human expression. Let's take a closer look at vocabulary illustrations. This slide emphasizes the importance of visual aids in understanding new words. When teaching vocabulary, using illustrations can really make a difference by providing context and making abstract concepts more concrete. For example, A simple picture of a tree can help students grasp the meaning of the word canopy more effectively than just a definition alone. Highlighting these visuals supports our overall goal of enhancing comprehension and retention. Visuals aren't just decorative. They serve as powerful tools to connect learners with language in a meaningful way. So, incorporating well-chosen illustrations can really elevate our vocabulary lessons and help learners internalize new words more confidently. Let's take a closer look at the canvas tent. This type of shelter is a classic choice, especially for outdoor adventures and camping trips. It's known for its simplicity and durability, providing reliable protection from the elements. The canvas material is breathable, which helps prevent condensation inside, making it more comfortable to stay in for extended periods. Additionally, canvas tents are often appreciated for their sturdiness and ability to withstand various weather conditions. Connecting this to our overall theme, the canvas tent represents a balance between traditional craftsmanship and practical design. It reminds us that sometimes relying on tried-and-true methods can be the most effective approach. Whether for temporary shelter or a more permanent setup, understanding the strengths of a canvas tent helps us appreciate the enduring value of classic solutions in outdoor living. Let's take a closer look at the quarry. A quarry is essentially a site where we extract natural resources like stone, gravel, or minerals from the earth. It's a crucial part of our supply chain, providing the raw materials we need for construction, manufacturing, and many other industries. When we think about sustainability and environmental impact, quarries are significant because they can alter landscapes and ecosystems. That's why responsible management and rehabilitation are so important. Understanding how quarries operate helps us appreciate their role in supporting our infrastructure, while also reminding us of our responsibility to minimize ecological disruption. This ties back to our overall theme of balancing resource extraction with environmental stewardship. Let's talk about an anecdote that really highlights the impact of our approach. Imagine a scenario where a team faced a significant challenge, but by applying the strategies we've discussed, they turned things around. This story underscores the importance of adaptability and innovation in overcoming obstacles. It also illustrates how small changes can lead to big results, reinforcing the core message of our presentation. By sharing this example, I hope to inspire you to think creatively and embrace new solutions in your own work. Remember, stories like these remind us that progress often comes from taking thoughtful action in the face of uncertainty. The word desolate really captures a sense of emptiness or abandonment. When we think about environments or situations that are desolate, we're often picturing places that are isolated, uninhabited, or lacking life. It's a powerful concept because it ties into broader themes of resilience and recovery. In many contexts, recognizing desolation helps us understand what's at stake when environments are neglected or when communities face hardships. It also underscores the importance of effort and intervention to restore vitality and hope. So, as we move forward, keep in mind how the idea of desolation relates to both the challenges we face and the opportunities for renewal. When I think of the word miraculous, I often picture moments that seem almost impossible, yet happen against all odds. These are the events that inspire us, remind us of the extraordinary potential within everyday life. In our overall journey, recognizing the miraculous helps us appreciate the power of hope, perseverance, and resilience. It's about noticing those small, yet profound moments that can change everything. Ultimately, embracing the miraculous mindset encourages us to see beyond the ordinary and believe in the extraordinary. Let's take a moment to explore the concept of conjure. When we talk about conjuring, we're really delving into the power of imagination and intention. It's about actively calling forth ideas, solutions, or even emotions that might not be immediately visible or tangible. Conjuring involves a bit of mental magic, shaping our thoughts and beliefs to create new possibilities. This ties into the overall theme of our presentation, which is about harnessing inner resources to drive change and innovation. Remember, the act of conjuring is not just about making things appear out of thin air, but about intentionally manifesting the outcomes we desire through focused thought and action. It's a reminder that our mindset and mental practices can have a profound impact on what we ultimately achieve. Let's take a moment to consider the word leisurely. This term really captures the essence of a relaxed and unhurried approach. It highlights the importance of packing ourselves, especially when we think about balancing work and personal life. When we approach tasks or activities in a leisurely manner, we allow ourselves the space to be more thoughtful and creative, rather than rushing through everything. This concept ties into the overall theme of well-being and sustainable productivity. By embracing a leisurely attitude, we can reduce stress and improve our focus, making our efforts more effective in the long run. So, in this part of the presentation, I want you to think about how slowing down a bit can actually help us move forward more successfully. Let's take a closer look at the concept of thrall. When we talk about thrall, we're really referring to a state of being under someone else's control or influence. It's not just about physical captivity. It can also be about psychological or emotional domination. This idea is important because it highlights how individuals or groups can be influenced or even manipulated into certain behaviors or beliefs. In the context of our overall theme, understanding thrall helps us see the power dynamics at play, how control is exerted and maintained. It also prompts us to think critically about autonomy and resistance. Recognizing when we're under thrall, or when others are, is a key step in empowering ourselves and fostering genuine independence. So, in essence, thrall isn't just about being controlled. It's about awareness and the potential for liberation. Let's take a closer look at the concept of arched. When we talk about something being arched, we're referring to a shape that curves smoothly, kind of like a rainbow or a bridge. This shape isn't just aesthetically pleasing. It also has practical benefits, especially in architecture and design. The arch distributes weight evenly, which allows structures to support more weight and span larger distances without collapsing. That's why arches have been a fundamental element in construction for thousands of years. In the context of our overall theme, understanding the power of arches helps us see how simple, elegant shapes can create both beauty and strength. It's a perfect example of how form and function work together to solve complex problems efficiently. Enormous. When we talk about this concept, what really stands out is just how vast and impactful it can be. It's not just about size, although that's a big part of it. It's about the scale of influence, the reach, and the potential it holds. Think of it as something that's not just big in physical terms, but also in the scope of its effects. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful things aren't just small and manageable. They can be enormous, and that's what makes them so significant. This ties back to our overall theme of growth and potential, showing us that sometimes thinking big or embracing the enormous can lead to the most remarkable outcomes. When I think about the term sprawled, it really captures how urban growth often extends outward in an unplanned or inefficient way. This kind of sprawling development can lead to increased traffic congestion, longer commutes, and greater reliance on cars. It also tends to consume more land and resources, which can impact the environment negatively. Sprawling areas often lack the density needed to support vibrant communities, making public transportation less viable and reducing walkability. As a result, daily life becomes less convenient and more costly for residents. In the context of our overall theme, which is about sustainable urban development, understanding sprawl helps us see the challenges we face and why smarter, more compact development is essential. It's about balancing growth with efficiency, minimizing environmental impact, and creating communities that are more connected and accessible. When we talk about something being inclined, we're referring to its tilt or angle relative to a standard position. This concept is quite important because it influences how objects behave, how they interact with their environment, or how they are perceived. For example, an inclined plane allows us to move heavy objects more easily by reducing the force needed. In a broader sense, understanding inclination helps us grasp how forces like gravity or tension work on objects that are not perfectly horizontal or vertical. Throughout this presentation, we've seen how inclination plays a key role in various applications, from engineering to natural phenomena. Recognizing these angles and their effects helps us design better solutions and interpret the world more accurately. So, when you hear inclined, Think about that tilt and how it impacts the system or object in question. Let's begin with the prologue. This section sets the stage for everything we're about to explore. It's like opening a door to the main ideas and themes that will guide our discussion. The key points here are about understanding the context and the motivation behind the topic. We want to grasp why this subject matters and how it connects to broader concepts we've been discussing. Think of the prologue as the foundation. It prepares us to dive deeper into the specifics later on. By establishing this background, we ensure that everyone is on the same page and ready to engage with the material meaningfully. Remember, the prologue isn't just an introduction. It's the first step in building a comprehensive understanding of the entire presentation. Let's talk about stamping. Stamping is a key technique used in manufacturing and branding. It involves pressing a form or design onto a surface, usually metal or paper, to create a permanent mark. This process is crucial for adding logos, serial numbers, or other identifying features efficiently and accurately. One of the most important aspects of stamping is precision. The quality of the stamp and the force applied need to be well controlled to ensure clear and consistent markings. This consistency is vital for quality control and brand integrity. Stamping also connects to the overall theme of efficiency in production. It allows for rapid marking of large quantities while maintaining accuracy. Whether in automotive parts, jewelry, or packaging, stamping helps streamline operations and uphold high standards. Ultimately, stamping is more than just marking. It's about embedding identity and quality into products through a reliable, scalable process. Let's take a moment to go over the key discussion points for this slide. First, I want to emphasize the importance of explaining these points thoroughly, but in a conversational way. This helps ensure everyone understands the concepts clearly. Next, I'll highlight the most critical ideas, those that truly drive home the core message of our presentation. Lastly, it's essential to connect these points back to the overall theme we've been exploring. Doing so creates a cohesive narrative and reinforces why these concepts matter in the bigger picture. Remember, the goal is to make these ideas engaging and relatable so that they resonate with your audience. Let's talk about how Iswaran is an asset to Mahendra. First, he was an obedient person, always ready to serve. He worked as Mahendra's cook, taking care of the daily chores. He was very caring and hardworking, doing everything from cooking meals to washing clothes. He also spent time chatting with Mahendra at night, which shows his dedication and loyalty. He obeyed his master fully, which made him a truly valuable helper. So overall, Iswaran's obedience, hard work, and caring nature made him a great asset to Mahendra. Now, moving on to Iswaran's description of the uprooted tree. He was greatly influenced by Tamil authors, especially in his storytelling. He enjoyed creating suspense and making even small incidents seem dramatic. For example, he told the story about the uprooted tree on the highway in a very dramatic way. He described how he was alone, on a deserted road, and saw something that looked like a huge beast lying across the path. But as he approached, he realized it was just a fallen tree. His main goal with these stories was to build suspense and surprise his listeners, which shows his talent for storytelling and his love for engaging others. This storytelling skill connects to the overall theme of how narrative and perception shape our understanding of events. Let's talk about emulation. Emulation is a fascinating concept because it allows us to mimic or replicate one system's behavior on another. This is particularly useful in areas like software development, testing, and even in preserving old technologies. When we emulate, we're essentially creating a virtual environment that behaves exactly like the original hardware or software. This helps us run legacy applications that might no longer be compatible with modern systems. It's a powerful tool that connects to our overall theme of innovation and adaptability, showing how we can bridge the gap between past and present technologies. Emulation not only preserves digital history, but also enables experimentation without risking the original systems. So, in essence, it's about creating a bridge that allows us to explore and utilize older systems in a modern context. Let's talk about emulation. Emulation is essentially about replicating the behavior of one system on another, allowing us to run software designed for different hardware or operating systems. It's a powerful tool because it extends the lifespan of software and hardware by bridging compatibility gaps. When we emulate, we can experience old video games, run legacy applications, or even test software across multiple platforms without needing the original devices. This concept ties back to our overall theme of innovation and adaptability in technology. Emulation highlights how we can creatively solve problems, preserve digital history, and enhance interoperability in our digital ecosystems.